Hey guys, welcome back to Movie Box. My name is Amanda Montero and I'll be giving you a review this week on the documentary Blackfish, as well as Ron Howard's documentary on Jay-Z called Made in America, as well as his other film arriving at TIFF, Rush. To start, I just want to mention I don't like documentaries. Well, not exactly. I don't like documentaries about animals because more often than not, it's about babies dying and I just can't do it. So I just want to let you guys know I did this for you. We are all familiar with killer whales. They're big and black and they have some white spots on them that I actually used to think when I was younger were their eyes, but that's besides the point. This film did exactly what I knew it would, make me cry. And I wish I could do something about the inhumane acts that us as human beings do on animals. Okay, let me start from the beginning. This film essentially focuses on marine parks around the world, specifically SeaWorld, and how they keep orcas in captivity to entertain the masses, and how it has put the trainers at risk. I learned a lot from this film. I thought I had a pretty good idea about what I was gonna watch, but some of the things took me by surprise. Like for one, I had no idea that killer whales actually have their own language specific to their families. So when these hunters go out and they get these little baby orcas and they put them into a tank with other babies, they actually have no idea what they're saying. It's like, hey, I'm gonna take this kid from Canada, this kid from Spain, and this kid from Russia, put them in a room together and expect them to know how to be a family when they have no idea what the other one is saying. It doesn't work that way. It's actually one of the many reasons that causes frustration in the whales when they're inside of captivity. There's this thing called raking, where they get their teeth and they scrape it along the side of another whale, and it causes a lot of bleeding and trauma. One time, a whale actually rammed into another whale and broke its jaw, and it hit an artery which eventually caused it to die.
Don is the senior trainer here at Shamu Stadium.
She captured what it means.
Another thing about killer whales is that they actually have this part in the brain that humans don't have that makes them even more emotional. Could you imagine anything more emotional than a 15-year-old girl? Once I knew that, my heart broke. So this film is compiled of trainers' previous experiences at the marine parks and how little knowledge they actually knew of the job that they were getting into. When they signed up to work, it was more of a personality test than anything that you needed to know. They thought that they needed all this training and all this schooling, but really they just went in and applied and they got the job.
We stored these whales in what we call a module, which was 20 feet across and 30 feet deep, and the lights were all turned out.
Probably led to what I think is a psychosis.
I believe that places like SeaWorld and other marine parks around the world take advantage of trainers and the little information that they know, aside from the information that they are fed. They do this just to generate profits. These trainers are fed false information that puts their lives at risk. These are killer whales, they're predators. When put into confined spaces for long periods of time, you can only imagine the toll that this would take on these whales.
It sells a lot of Shamu dolls, it sells a lot of tickets at the gate.
There's no record of an orca doing any harm in the wild.
If you're like me and you want to help, click on the link below where you can send a letter to SeaWorld asking them to release the orcas to wildlife sanctuaries. The Toronto International Film Festival is coming to a close, and if I haven't already given you enough reason to check it out, listen to this. If you're a fan of Jay-Z, then you'll be excited to know that Ron Howard has made a documentary about the music festival Made in America, depicting Jay-Z's organization of the whole event.
This festival's Jay-Z's vision.
We've never done anything like this before. This is a big thing.
Ron Howard, an Oscar-winning director, the man responsible for Apollo 13, Cinderella Man, The Da Vinci Code, is teaming up with Jay-Z on a documentary about the music festival Made in America. Ron Howard documents Jay's preparation for the festival, one-on-one with audience members, and even follows a local hip-hop group's attempt to try and hit the big stage.
It's about you, it's about us, it's about Made in America.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
Ron Howard told allhiphop.com, "This will not be a concert film. It's a reflection of what it means to be made in America, what the festival represents, why Jay is doing it, and how he relates to each artist.
Dash 560 Station Street. We never been on the roof.
Oh, now you trying to make me cry, man? After great tragedy, creativity is born.
Kicking in the overdrive, boys.
You play the guitar, he plays the drums, he uses a turntable. Yo, this wall here between us doesn't have to exist.
It's a really good time right now. It's a really exciting time to see where this goes.
Continuing with the Ron Howard theme and TIFF, he has another film premiering at this year's festival, a biopic called Rush. This film stars Chris Hemsworth and Daniel Bruhl as Formula One racers, James Hunt and Niki Lauda.
It's Niki Lauda. He's just been signed by Ferrari.
This is nobody.
Look at the way he's driving like an old man.
Right now, with zero incentive, why would I drive fast?
Because I'm asking you to.
This is an incredible battle between these two great drivers.
This film focuses on the 1976 motor racing season, and most importantly, the rivalry between the two. The two racers are like night and day, Hunt the typical playboy, and Lauda the methodical and intense one. Both are competing in the Formula One championship that could claim their lives, and one of them comes pretty close.
Welcome to the racing grudge match of the decade.
More powerful than the fear of death is the will to win.
That's it for this week's episode on Movie Box. Wait till next week when I'll be talking about post-apocalyptic films. See you then!